Hello everyone and welcome back to some more Blue Archive. Today, a little bit of a different video. As you may or may not know, Blue Archive is in an interesting position. A new gacha system was recently introduced to the game, not yet on global but on JP. They did this during the most recent live stream where they basically spent an hour announcing some of the most peak characters to ever grace the game, followed by like 30 seconds of, oh hey, here's this. Peace. And I actually reacted to this live. I did sort of like a watch along for that live stream. And it was kind of interesting, the roller coaster of emotions. People sort of discovering what it actually meant as the translations came out. Changing the gacha. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like, it's going to get to a point where there's just so many characters in the game. You're going to have to change something. And I even kind of said like, oh, there's no way they're going to add a 50-50. People would riot. They're adding 50-50? There's no way they'd add 50-50. People would just riot. I imagine if you get to, I didn't see it. I imagine it's something like get to 100 pulls, the rate goes up or something like that. Or like the rate of the non-banner character goes up. If they had a 50-50, people would actually lose their minds. And now we're here. I mean, just like looking at some of the most recent reviews, they brought in an CEO from EA, and now we're making changes to the gacha system for the worst. The TLDR of it is we don't get to pick anymore 50-50 at 100 pulls with guaranteed 200 pulls when a lot of banners have 2 or more characters. Oust the new CEO and blacklist them off the gaming industry along with the rest of those leeches. First off, I love BA. I've been playing since D Hina banner, so about 2 years now. I love from the gameplay, the stories, the art, the students, and the community. But Nexon is recently announced changes in the JP livestream to the pity system, which squeezes all the players to spend more. It just smells corporate greed and anti-consumerism. We won't get these changes just yet, but if they do, Global will get those changes when we catch up to JP/KR. Please, Nexon, listen to your community, or a good portion of the community will leave and find something else. I can't in good conscience recommend this game if they follow through with the changes. So yeah, people really are not happy with this. And I know I haven't read the story in a while, but I felt like it was important to make this video because this is a pretty big thing. And I know my opinion may rub some people the wrong way and may even get me blacklisted from potential future Blue Archive sponsors. But I guess it is important for me to speak out on stuff I feel strongly about. So my opinion is old system better. New system bad, old system better. At first, when we didn't fully understand the new system, I actually thought it sounded okay. Like, I think during the live stream, my general reaction was like, there's no way they would do a 50-50, that's awful. Everything else sounds really good. But as time went on and I started to learn more, weirdly enough, as more and more people kind of got converted to the idea of the new system being better because it saves you pyros and whatnot, I actually kind of went the other way. So first of all, let me play devil's advocate in favor of the new system and say, according to the numbers, it does in the long run save you pyros. And also, I see a lot of people comparing it to Hoyo 50-50 slop, which I have way too much experience with. Yes, that's it, is it? Let's go. Let's go. Okay, please. Please. I swear to God, if this is not Suna, I'm quitting the game.
Attendant Lycon at your service.
You think I'm playing gacha games for dudes? I mean, if it was a femboy, maybe, but this is just straight up a furry. Anyway, I see a lot of people comparing it to that, to Hoyo's version of 50-50, and I don't think that's quite a fair comparison. There's a big difference between going all the way to hard pity and losing a 50-50 versus having a 50-50 halfway through and getting to continue pulling. So yeah, just to play devil's advocate, I think those 2 points should be noted. However, that's about it. That's where it ends for me. Okay, so first things first, the numbers argument. I know people ran the numbers and sort of proved that the new system is better in terms of saving you pyros. Something about that doesn't sit right with me. I don't know what it is, but when it comes to something like a gacha game and literally anything involving luck, there is no way to actually calculate that. You can run as many numbers as you want, as many simulations as you want. That's not how luck works. Random number generators aren't even random because it is impossible to make something truly random. So despite despite the numbers saying one thing, they just can't guarantee that you're gonna actually get the character at a good point where it makes the new system better. And I'm not hating on the people that prefer the new system. That's not what this video is about. Regardless of what system you enjoy, that's perfectly fine. I don't care. But I do find it a bit frustrating. The only argument that I see for the people that prefer the new system is that it saves you pyros in the long run. They just keep bringing up the numbers. Hello, I'm editing this video right now. Just to add to that, I feel like another thing the numbers haven't really taken into consideration is if you're pulling for both characters. They usually release 2 characters at once, and people, I would say for the most part, pull for both. On the new system, which everyone says is much better if you're lucky, if you get the character early in, let's say, the first 10, 20 pulls, that still doesn't guarantee that you're gonna get the second character before 200. Like on the old system, you get the first character in 10 pulls, great, you spark for the second. You get the character in 190, great, you spark for the second. On the new system, you're down on pulls either way. Like, regardless of how early or late you get the character on the new system, it just feels like ass. I don't care if there's a 50-50 chance to get it and better long-term odds. Just, I think that's kind of why the numbers don't sit right with me. It's not like fully taking into consideration pulling on both banners. Anyway, look at this. No update, huh? Rio looks even sexier at nighttime. Okay, maybe one cheeky pull on the new system. I know I haven't pulled on the new system, but the old system was so simple and predictable. You go in, you're expecting to essentially pull 200 times. If you get the character early, great. You get to use your recruitment points and spark the other character on the banner. This happened to me so many times. Yoshimi, banned Yoshimi, I think I got her on 180 or 190.
Please. Yes. Yes. Getting her on like the 18th or 19th or even 20th pull seemed like really unlikely.
And then I was able to spark ban Kazusa. I feel like I've said it countless times now when I do pulling videos. It's like, okay, I had pretty bad pulls, but I got 2 characters with 1 spark. No complaints here. I always say that.
You know what? I'm chilling. These are like pretty... these are pretty good. These are pretty good. We got 4 3-stars and we're gonna get both Hina and Iori with 1 spark. Okay, we are gonna have to spark for the sweaty nun, but that is okay. I am happy with that. I'm content. If you're ever pulling for 2 characters, you get one early, spark the other. I think that's perfectly acceptable.
So it's very predictable. Like, you know what you were doing. It's the system that's been in the game pretty much since day one. People have come to expect it and no one complains about it. When people get unlucky, they don't blame the system. They jokingly blame Arona. They say, oh, I have sucky luck, I need to correct Arona. There's no like, oh, the system's trash, I hate this game. So I think the old system just feels better. And that leads into the third point. Many statements have come out from Nexon, people working at the company, about the new system, and one of them stated they want to make it more accessible to senseis to get the characters they want. But saying something like that, why not just keep the old system and increase the rates? There's something about the fact that they completely changed the system and made it a more complicated system that just seems weird. If they changed the system to something equally simple, it would be like, okay, this system's different, but it's easy to understand. That's one thing. But the fact that they changed the system to something so convoluted that has like a bunch of different mechanics essentially and removes the key thing that made the original system so good, the recruitment points, just, you know, it just seems like such a weird change. And that kind of leads me to my last point. Blue Archive recently took on a guy that used to work at EA, and it's just really weird timing that they would, you know, make this change after taking on someone from EA. And when you look at literally any company ever, they always do this. They always make changes and essentially limit test their audience. We see this all the time with YouTube. They make changes that nobody asked for. Almost 100% of the time, the reaction is bad, but nobody stops using YouTube. And that's why they just keep doing it. And I feel like that's kind of what Blue Archive is doing. They're making this pretty major change to see how the audience reacts. And if we react positively or if we react negatively but nothing actually changes, it tells them that they can get away with more stuff like that in the future. Another example of this is League of Legends. A few years back, they introduced quite literally a gacha mechanic. And maybe a year prior to them introducing that, look what video I made. It's kind of crazy. They basically brought out a skin that was like a recolor of a skin that already existed and put it behind a gacha mechanic, with the worst case scenario being $300. The initial reaction, of course, was complete outrage. People hated it. People thought it was so dumb. It was so greedy. But you know what? People kept playing the game and the whales bought the skin. They essentially went 2 for 3. Angry consumers, but nothing happened and they made money. Now this mechanic is essentially permanent in the game and they're constantly releasing gacha skins. And to be honest, I feel like that's my biggest point. I feel like we as players, if we feel strongly about the old system being better, we need to let it be known and we need to not let this change go through. Now this change already happened on JP, so it's kind of like, you know, can we actually get it reverted or can we just stop it from coming to global? I don't know, to be honest. I have no idea if that's possible. I understand not everyone hates the new system, and in fact, I've seen some people that actually quite like the new system, and again, that is perfectly fine. I'm not here to knock players based on what their opinions of the game are. I think Blue Archive has enough psychotic fans already. But yeah, I think if we can, we need to push back against this. How do we do that? Well, for one, please, for the love of God, this is not a call to action. I should probably just put that disclaimer there. This is not a call to action. But for one, don't harass the devs. It's almost never the devs that are doing stuff like this. It's usually the higher ups that are like, we want more money. Make this change. So don't harass the devs. Don't go doxing people and sending death threats or any sort of violent threats or any threats at all. And please, for the love of God, this is number one, the worst thing, the absolute worst thing you can do, saying you're going to quit the game and then not actually quitting. If you have ever threatened to quit Blue Archive and not actually quit the game, you are the biggest detriment to the game that we have. You are unironically griefing the rest of us players. Please stop threatening to quit the game if you're not actually going to quit. It does the exact opposite thing that you think it would. It is what I just said. If you threaten to quit the game and don't actually quit, it tells them that you're a submissive little cuck and you will take whatever change they make and like it. I guess the best thing we can do, review bombing, is probably pretty harmless. Again, as long as it's actually constructive. I've seen so many hate comments that people say are constructive criticism. Telling Blue Archive or Nexon to go fuck themselves is not constructive criticism. So please, for the love of God, if you're gonna review bomb, be respectful. The comment section of their posts is probably a good thing. The address me elephants, I feel like, are pretty harmless. If you were a whale or someone that just spends a little bit of money on the game and you don't like the new system, then not spending money on the game might be a good way. But again, I'm not trying to tell you how to play the game. If you want to spend money on it, even if you hate the new system, go for it. But yeah, this is pretty much it. I'd be interested to know what you guys think. Please, for the love of God, keep it civil. I apologize again for it being quite a while since I've made a story video. But next week, we will be back with the regularly scheduled story style videos. I don't want to make it a habit for me to get involved with Blue Archive drama. I pretty much just play the story and goon. I like remaining ignorant to all the rest of the shit that's going on in the community. And yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. None of this would have happened if they just gave Swimsuit Asumi a bush.